Peace, blessing, much respect, much love. It's your boy, the Ghetto Guru, aka Shango, coming back with another message. It's been a couple weeks since I got on here and gave y'all a message. Like they say, life be life, and so I had to, get some things together and still getting them together, and just check in with myself mentally and everything and spiritually, because you always gotta check in with yourself and make sure that you're doing all right. But we got a new moon coming up on the 12th, which is Tuesday, going to be in Sagittarius. So with the new moon, that's bringing in things that we want to bring in and manifest. But I feel like, and it's also a Mercury retrograde about to happen as well. But I feel like the energy and the things that I'm picking up on and channeling and things that I'm hearing from other people, I don't think this is really time for trying to bring in manifestations. I really feel like it's a time for bringing in a new version of us as far as our mindsets, our perspectives of ourselves, and perspectives of life and why things happen to us. So this brings me to the title, and that what I was getting is your suffering will be the reason why you are successful. Your suffering will be the reason why you are successful. A lot of people are going through many different things right now at this moment. A lot of suffering in relationships, housing things, when it comes to their homes, when it comes to their careers, when it comes to just their mindset, their overall being, and just how they think of themselves. And a lot of people don't understand why they have to go through these hard hurdles all the time, these hard challenges, these hard trials and tribulations, but we don't understand that it's deeper reasons of why we have to go through these things. And if you don't have the right mindset, you don't have the right perspective, rather, on life and why these things are happening in your life right now, you're not going to be able to see the lessons that you're getting taught and how you're going to overcome those hurdles and understand that lesson so you can get to your next level. So this is what I was getting as well. Your story is going to be your glory. Your story is going to be your glory. So when we go through these hardships, when we go through these hard things, when it seems like the walls are just caving in, everything is just going left in our life, everything is just going crazy and chaotic, we don't understand things, it just seems like no matter what, something always is coming up and something is always either slowing us down. It seems like we take 2 steps forward and it seems like we take, forget 3 steps backwards, we taking 5 steps backwards. It seems like everything could just, anything that's possibly possible to go wrong, rather, it could go wrong. So, but we gotta understand, if things is going crazy in your life right now, you gotta understand there's reasons or different reasons why. Sometimes, if things are going chaotic right now, you gotta understand sometimes the lesson could be an emotional lesson. We gotta look back at, like, okay, last year around this time when things were going crazy or when things were happening in my life, I didn't handle them right. I didn't handle them right emotionally. So then you look at this year and things are going crazy before January comes. You got to look like, okay, my lesson this time is to channel and work on my emotions of how I handle things emotionally. So when there's problems, do I make sure I critically think first? Do I see what's going on? Do I actually go into stillness and then go into meditation and prayer to get answers? Because a lot of times when the craziness is happening, we try to figure it out. We start trying to figure it out on our own. We're looking for answers. And a lot of times the answer is for us not to look for the answers. If you get that, don't let that go over your head. A lot of times the answer to our problems is not to look for the answer. The answers to the test of these tests are meant to come to you when you are in stillness, when you are in prayer, when you are in meditation, when you are in deep thought, when you are in introspection and just letting everything just play out. Some things are not meant for us to figure out. Thank you, God. Some things are not meant for us to figure out. Some things are not meant for us to put our hands on. Some things are meant to play out the way it's supposed to play out because there's deeper reasons of why I had to play out like that. When we try to do the human thing and figure things out and put our hand in it and thinking that, oh, we can solve it, or we try to find the answers, a lot of times we make it worse because we are not letting the natural events play out the way it's supposed to play out. So when things are going crazy, that might be a lesson to let things play out and how you handle it emotionally versus how you handled it emotionally back then. So that could be you learn how to be calm, learning not to go off the deep end and just explode and get mad and angry. not to get annoyed easily. These are things that we need to work on because, thank you, God, that's what I got. When these crazy things are happening in your life, those are tests of your emotions, like I said, to make sure you're calm, to make sure you're not getting annoyed easily, to make sure you're not getting angry easily. Because if you can master that when things are going crazy in your life, then when you go to that next level, when you're going to deal with people that's doing underhanded stuff, giving you attitudes, giving you jealousy, giving you envy, just any of those things, you will know how to handle those people in a much better emotional, stable manner than you would years ago. Because years ago, you probably would have went off on them. You probably would have been second guessing things. You probably would have been paranoid, thinking that somebody's trying to get something over on you, even if they were. You would have handled it and made it worse by going off. Sometimes we think by checking people and going off on them, we think that, oh, I did the right thing, I told them off. And a lot of times we didn't need to do that in that situation. It just made it worse. So sometimes you need to learn how to be emotionally stable and handle those people in a manner that they need to be handled, or the situation, so you don't look crazy or you don't even look worse than them. Because sometimes you are in the right to go off on them, but guess what? When you do, everybody's looking at you like you just made the whole situation worse. And then you end up being the one losing out the most. Because most times in situations, we're the ones that have the most to lose. So it's not worth putting our time and energy to people like that. The hard lessons could be physically, how you take care of yourself, how you make sure that you're keeping up with your health, things like that. Before, when things were happening chaotic in your life, you might have went into drinking a lot. You might have went into smoking a lot. You might have went into different things that weren't healthy for your physical being and your physical body. And now when these things are happening, this is challenging you now to see how would you handle struggle now? How do you handle going through hardships now? How do you handle battling those hard lessons now? Are you doing different things for your physical being as far as working out versus going to drink and get crazy drunk to forget things? Are you going to go on a run? Are you going to go jump rope? Are you going to, what else physical? Are you going to, like I said, meditation? That could also be for your mental as well. Are you going to do different things for your physical well-being than you used to before? So when we go through these hard lessons, like I said, it's not meant for us to figure out answers. It's meant for us to actually work on ourselves of how we handle those things, how you handle the storm. Sometimes we have to go to that storm in order to get to the sunshine because we need to see how we handle the storm. Because before, when a storm, every time when people hear storms coming, everybody panics. They feel like they got to get prepared. They got to control this and that. And the storm's going to do what it do no matter what. So sometimes it's not meant for us to figure it out. Sometimes it's meant for us to be still and just adapt. So this is the reason why a lot of chaos is happening in different areas of many people's lives, because we need to learn how to work on self. We need to learn how to adapt to these situations differently than we did before. So that could be mentally having better stability, physically having better stability on how you handle your physical being and your physical body. Spiritually, what are you doing to spiritually feed yourself? Are you going into a victim mindset of saying, damn, every time I do something good, something always comes in my life and just sets me back more? Every time, why does everybody else's life seem like it's going great, but mine is going bad? See, when we do these things, we're not in alignment and we're missing the total picture of the lesson. When these things are happening, we're supposed to go spiritually and be like, okay, I've been through this before in my life. I've been through that before in my life. Or I even been through worse. If I can make it through those things that I thought I could never do before in my past few years, I can definitely make it through this. I just have to stay spiritually strong. I have to talk to myself, give myself positive affirmations. I have to make sure I'm feeding myself positive spiritual things that I'm listening to. All of those things matter. And I have to make sure that I'm also being in alignment with God, the universe, and my ancestors, so I can hear, so I can be led to where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do. You're not always supposed to figure out the answers to the test. The way we get past and the way we pass the test is to not look for the answers and try to figure out. We're supposed to go into stillness and let everything play out. And we're supposed to make sure that we just stay in alignment mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. So when the storm is over and the sun comes, we are in perfect alignment to go walk into that sunshine and walk into our success, whatever it is that we're supposed to have on our path in life. So like I said, a lot of those hardships that you're going through right now, I know it's tough. I know it's rough. I know it's not easy. You're human. So you're going to have worse days than others. You're not always going to have a positive mindset. You're not always going to want to handle things in the most healthiest manner. I get that. Trust me, I have to do the same things for myself. But you have to battle those temptations to do things in a difficult manner, when I say difficult manner, I mean that's not really the healthiest for you mentally, not the healthiest for you emotionally, not the healthiest for you physically and spiritually. You have to do things that are going to feed yourself and keep your positivity going. Even you have to also master those things, because sometimes we can't master that voice in our head that's telling us, oh, you're always going to have a hard life. You're never going to make it be successful. You're never going to get over hardships. You're never going to make it out of this situation. Or God can't save you now. Those are all voices that's going to be in your head to try to distract you on what you're supposed to be doing internally. So when you can't do your work internally, you cannot even be led externally on the outside by outside forces like God, the universe, your ancestors. This is why you have to block out all of that negative energy and talk that's trying to get in your head, so you can go internally and be clear and clear minded and clear thinking. So you can be led externally by God, the universe, and your ancestors. So that's basically my message right now, to tell people that hold on. Your suffering is not for no reason. Your suffering will be the reason for your success. Like I said, your story is your glory. You are going through all these things because this is a part of your story. So when you overcome this, like you overcame many other hurdles that you think you couldn't overcome, people are going to look at you as inspiration. They're going to look at you as inspiration. They're going to look at you as motivation. They're going to want to know, how did you do it? What things do you do to mentally stay sane? What do you do to emotionally stay stable? What do you do to stay physically strong? And what do you do to not be spiritually broken? Because they don't have the answers. They don't know how to do it. But like I said, we're not supposed to figure out the answer. We're supposed to let it come to us. So when they see you overcome that, you come to them in their life, and then they can watch you, and then they can learn and adapt and soak that game up from you that you was given from God, the universe, and the ancestors on how to overcome any of your hardships or your hurdles in order to get to your success. So remember that during this upcoming new moon in Sagittarius, it's not really about bringing in manifestations of gain. It's more about bringing in the new version of your mind, your mentality, your focus, your stability on all areas, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So you can understand how mentally strong you are from last time, emotionally stable you are from last time, physically stronger than you were from last time, and spiritually stronger from last time when you went through hardships and you weren't in alignment, you weren't stable, and you weren't thinking clear, and you just was going off on everybody and just losing it. So peace, blessing, much respect, much love. I love y'all. Hope everything is well with y'all. Stay goal-oriented, stay focused. And like I always say, whether we run, whether we jog, whether we sprint or crawl, because life is that hard sometimes. You can't run, you can't jog, you can't sprint. Only thing you can do is crawl to your destination. But like I always say, somehow, some way, we got to make it to our destination someday. So peace, blessings, much respect, much love. I love y'all. And I'm going to do another video after this. So I'll see y'all in the next topic. Peace.